How you doing?
Been a wild week.
Yeah, same.
Nothing wilder than the half season of Rick and Morty we got coming up next month.
Oh yeah,
Just like, hey, it's like, it's taking too long. Here's just what we have so far.
I don't even like. Is it gonna? I don't care anymore.
I'm not as into it as other people. If I've learned anything on the internet, but
Or in real life, honestly.
I'm still pretty psyched. I'm happy it's coming back. I'm excited to see it.
Yeah, like I guess it's almost like I don't know. And maybe this is This is definitely a weird comparison to make, but it's like, and I get that it's animation, so I understand that involves like hundreds of different of like loopholes and acrobatics to try to make animation productions. But like Peaky Blinders came back after being off for like a year and a half. And that show was written by one guy.
Yeah.
And that show was absolutely incredible. And he did 6 hours of that show. And that's also casting like people who are movie stars. I mean, Tom Hardy's in it, Cillian Murphy, like and it's English, so it's a lot of like English actors seem to be constantly working and doing other projects because of how their Actors Guild works. And the other one would be like My Hero. Like again, like so to me it's like I feel like when we get Rick and Morty, like I don't get the quality that is expected of a show that's gonna take 2.5 or 2 years or however long it is. I feel like I never get the satisfaction of that. You know what I mean? Like the time does not equate the quality. You know?
Like it's also entirely like made from scratch. So to compare it to something like a serialized anime that's based from a serialized comic that they can borrow stills from to base everything around.
That's why I said like I do understand like that there is differences to it, but it like I don't know. Like, and I get that there was, what was it, season 3 that took like Justin Roiland and Dan Harmon were like killing each other to try to like
something like that, yeah.
To like figure out where they wanted to take the show and what direction that they were going to go in, and I'm not happy with this and you're not happy with that. It just, I don't know. It seems like there's almost more hype around the show than what the show actually gives out.
I mean, that's like everything on Adult Swim, though. Like, how long does
Eric Andre's fucking gold.
Yeah, well, I haven't seen anything about that coming back, so more time and thought in Eric Andre than anything. But like, look at shit like Venture Brothers and stuff. Like, that'll take like a 3-year hiatus. Look at Metalocalypse. It had like 2.5 years off.
Yeah.
Did an episode and hasn't done anything else since.
Yeah. Oh, that's true.
And like, it's not like when they came back, they were any different or better than when they were cranking out, 12 episodes a year.
Yeah, Metalocalypse, I think the one downfall was when they tried to switch to the 30-minute
when
format.
they tried to make it a full,
Yeah, they made a full episode and it just
didn't flow the same way as the other ones.
Yeah, because
the other ones could just be like, here's an idea, haha, look, they screwed it up, here's a bunch of death scenes.
Yeah, and then bam, like that's your episode.
And a sweet song. You're like, yeah.
Fucking yeah, it was dope.
I can see them like doing those like one-off, but like when they change like the entire structure of the show.
Yeah, but yeah, I guess that's a fair point. I don't know, like it just, I don't know. I've been really cynical lately when it comes to like media like that I've been ingesting. Like I've been like, I'm not watching any more Marvel movies. Like I'm done. Like I'm fucking just burnt out, and I'm sick of them. Like I'm not like Scorsese. Like fuck those guys. It's not film. I get where he's coming from at it. Like I 100% get where he's coming from, because like I don't know, like it is kind of homogenized.
Sure, like I get that stuff, but
yeah, like and I understand from his perspective too of where he must feel as narrative film. Like I can list you 20 other movies that are Netflix only films that are better than a Marvel movie.
Sure.
You know what I mean? And to see those things that are of higher quality, better written, better directed, like actually trying to elevate or move the form of cinema, and not in like a super artsy way, still where it's like palatable and like easily accessible to an audience, and to see that just completely like snubbed out. Like that whole style of filmmaking is just, it's on the ropes because of one entity.
Well, but like you see that though, like in the late 80s and 90s, you saw the same thing with action blockbusters and shit like that.
Yeah, but
and then the 2000s had like the late 90s, and then the 2000s had this huge revival of like the indie film really coming back and like kind of making its.
I don't know. I feel like it was always there though, and I feel like it wasn't as much of a. I know that those genre films were always there, but I don't think that it was such a death grip on the market like it is now, because like, and especially with like Disney like buying studios, like owning these things and creating this factory of homogenized nostalgia or like depthless entertainment, and not all of it's depthless. Like Black Panther's still fucking incredible because of the commentary that it's able to do. I can't even remember where I was going. Oh yeah, but like in Stallone movies and Schwarzenegger movies, like how many Schwarzenegger Stallone movie combos do you have? Maybe like
where they're both in it?
No. Like those two together.
Okay.
Like their movies combined. So you have like Terminator, Predator, blah blah blah.
I would honestly say like you're probably in like you're nearing 40, I would say, between the two of them. If we're talking like
okay, so yeah, 40,
like theatrical released films.
40 movies stretch from probably late 70s to mid 90s.
I mean,
to now.
Literally right now.
Late 70s to now.
They both have a movie coming out.
Yeah, so late 70s to now you have about 40 movies. Where Disney's done what? What is it? 13? Or no,
what are you talking? Are you just talking about what's in the MCU?
Yeah, how many Marvel?
It's like 25 or something like that.
25 movies in like 10 years. You know what I mean? Like that's a death grip. When you have like those guys, yeah, they're like blockbuster guys, you know, but like Marvel has this just grip on everything. And then on top of that, that's not including Star Wars movies. That's once a year or once every other year, however the fuck it worked out. You know, or a Pixar. Well, Pixar's different. Even then, but like, yeah, like you have one company that is literally just like, boom, here you go.
Sure.
And I don't know, it just there's something that sits really bad in my mouth about it. Like it's a really sour taste. It leaves me with a bad taste in my mouth.
I think for the first time, like I've always been like, I get it. Disney's this mega corporation, and you know, corporation bad, and like and I'm not like specifically mocking that. I get it. I sympathize with that. But like the first time that it really like, where I was like, because you know they're still making movies that people are going to enjoy. Like when you break it all the way down, that's still happening.
Yeah, no, and that's where it's like I don't want to shit all over it. Like,
but then I saw this new Lion King movie. It didn't need to happen.
Yeah,
they had to overlook so much just to make that movie. And like you would say, like capitalize on the nostalgia of the Lion King.
Yeah. Well, and I heard that you saw Aladdin too, though.
I saw Aladdin.
How
and
was
I
that?
loved Aladdin.
It
was a really cool like reimagining of the first movie. Like how do we take this and we bring it to live action?
Yeah.
You a lot of stuff got changed up to like make it, you know, with the sense of realism of actual people, have it make a little bit more sense.
Yeah.
Like a lot of the genie stuff, like he had his big bombastic number for You've Never Had a Friend Like Me. Other than that, most of his stuff was pretty tame.
Okay.
Like he wasn't doing, like Robin Williams would like go in and out of caricatures and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like he wasn't doing any of that.
Well, yeah, because
they wrote him kind of a new plot that made him that made his transitioning, like at the, you know, spoiler alert, it's the same movie from 25 years ago. Like it made the whole like he becomes a human at the end, it gave that more impact because it gave him a plan for after. Like he had things he wanted to do.
Oh, okay. So that's cool. Yeah, so
But like The Lion King was just, let's just do this, but it's the same movie but with CG animals, and then they made little tweaks here and there to make that work, to cater to that idea.
Yeah.
Instead of just like the idea of Aladdin as a live action already being a good idea, like.
Yeah. See, yeah, and that's like, and there was another thing that was pointed out. I was listening to a podcast of I don't remember what one, but I think what really like solidified it for me was when you have one corporation that does this, a lot of people lose their jobs.
Mm-hmm.
Like it, and then that when you eliminate the competition, you're eliminating exactly the competition. You're no longer, granted, you're not gonna get, what was it, Dante's Peak and Inferno. Like you're not gonna get that where they're like, we have or Red Planet and Life on Mars or whatever, where they were like, we're gonna release the exact same movie
gotcha.
in the exact same year. Oh, it was Red Planet and Armageddon. We're like, boom,
yeah,
here's 2 space movies of this happen. You know, like you don't get that, but you also don't get the competition of other writers, other creative forces being able to.
Well, at this point, okay, so let me ask you this, and I'll kind of build off that with what you're saying here. Name the last major hit, we'll say, that wasn't based on something that already existed.
Baby Driver.
Okay, you would call that a mega hit.
I would call that the closest thing.
I'm talking. No, I want an actual mega hit. Like I'm talking like fucking. Like #1 movie in America for a month, that kind of shit.
Yeah, because I
like
think
how far back?
I think Baby Driver hit #1.
It might have hit #1 the weekend it came out.
Yeah,
I don't think that was a #1 movie.
Avatar.
That honestly, that's probably where I would have ended up with that.
That's about 10 years ago. That was right on the cusp.
And granted, the whole every premise of that movie was taken from something else, but there wasn't like. There wasn't
an IP.
There wasn't a book or a cartoon or a comic about blue monkey alien lizard people and called Avatar.
Yeah.
Like, so now, and you're saying like, you know, like we're all the people who are writing and all that. That's not where it comes from anymore.
Yeah.
Like they're not like looking for people with original ideas. They're looking for incredible interpreters.
Yeah. And that's exactly like that's my problem with it is that you got like there's a movie on Netflix that I watched when I got my surgery, my face.
Rob got his face broken open.
I got my
on purpose
deviated septum undeviated. But I spent the whole, and I think that only kind of reinforced was I was sitting at home watching movies like on Netflix and stuff like that. There's a movie called Mute. Who is Duncan Jones, who's David Bowie's son.
Okay.
It's his newest movie, which he had actually just done. The movie previous was Warcraft. He did the Warcraft movie.
Oh, that's right.
And
I forgot that was him.
He was like, I was so burnt out after because just the hell that
every hoop you have to jump through to make a movie,
on top of it being a production nightmare. Like writers were dropping out.
I mean, that thing was in production. That thing was like announced. Fuck, like hell. I was still like fresh out of high school, working at GameStop. I think when there were legitimate talks about doing a Warcraft movie.
Yeah, like, and there was much. And from the interview that I heard of his. Before they even announced it, they had been working on it for like a couple years.
Yep.
Like, so he does this movie called Mute, which is storyline wise, it's not that much. It's like a guy, his girlfriend goes missing and he's trying to find his girlfriend. Like, that's the plot.
Mm-hmm.
But it takes place in like this future Germany. Like future Berlin. And the character is Amish and he's mute because he never got because they have the fucking they have the technology to like, we can just give you a new voice box and you could just be fine and completely human, but because his family was Amish, they're like, not gonna happen.
Gotcha.
So like he's actually mute and he's trying to live in this world and also trying to be a detective, like trying to find but like a rogue vigilante type.
Yeah.
And again, there's nothing really crazy original about the plot, but it's the entire world that movie builds and makes it seem so refreshing, and it's so unique, and you watch it and you're like, there's so many layers to what is going on, and that's not even being addressed. Like, you can tell that there's thought put into why the economy, like, and then I went and listened to an interview with Duncan Jones, like, the subplot of the thing is why is there Amish in Germany? Well, it's because nationalism, like how it's going in Europe right now, he was like thinking in this post-apocalyptic kind of way that Germany finally rises up and says we want all of our citizens to come back to the fatherland.
Okay.
And so, and that would be the Amish, like that is part of that.
Yep.
So that there's this huge influx of Amish in Berlin at that time, because like, and it's not mentioned in the movie, it's not brought up, but it's like they don't, and that's not the point, because like he's just world building, and it's such a refreshing way to see a movie.
The story of the history of that world isn't important to the story it's trying to tell.
Yeah, and
but it was still fleshed out in order to set this up.
Yeah, and it's not even, and it's only fleshed out as much as it needed to be, and it's like reference, like it's in the collective knowledge of all the characters, so they'll make references within the dialogue, but like it's just reference, so you're able to kind of piece it together yourself. And that's really nice. It was really refreshing to see a completely different world that I've never seen before. And I want more of that. Like, I want more creative forces to be doing things. And when Disney owns everything and Disney goes, well, there's no money in something new. So,
well, in anything that there is, like, it's got to be Disney.
Yeah, they're gonna sterilize.
Yeah,
they're gonna put it in like.
I'm not even gonna go so far, because as many studios as they have now, like, they're not like not all their studios have to put out like the quote unquote Disney, family friendly this and that.
Yeah,
but they're still gonna have something to say.
Yeah, and it's actually funny that you brought up Disney today. Because, oh man, my phone's going off. Disney actually announced their Disney Plus streaming service. They've announced it for a while. Today they announced what is going to be on it day one.
Okay.
It is going to be like 7,000, I think, titles.
Mm-hmm.
So all Disney, all the obvious things, like all of the Disney movies. All of the
even Great Mouse Detective.
Yes,
you saw it on there.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm looking at the.
You see it.
Yep.
You promise.
Let me see. I'm actually.
What about they go to the Rescuers,
Down Under? I'm literally pointing. Yep. And there's the
7,000 things.
Black Cauldron. The only thing that is basically being omitted is Song of the South. Go figure.
Why? In 2019?
Yeah. All of the Marvel cartoons.
Okay.
Every one of them. So
like old Spider-Man and X-Men shit.
The Spider-Man and his amazing friends from the 80s.
Oh, wow. Okay.
The Spider-Man of
the one that looks like the Justice Friends.
Yep.
Yeah.
X-Men Evolution, Fantastic Four. I fucking love X-Men Evolution.
Dude.
Oh my god. Oh my god, I fuck with that show so hard. Star Wars everything. Every Star Wars.
So like all the Clone Wars and all that.
All the Clone Wars, Rebels, like they had to buy that from Netflix.
Oh.
Because Netflix had finished Clone Wars when Disney originally bought it. It was on Cartoon Network. Disney buys Star Wars and says, "Hey, you're done."
Mm-hmm. They made it on their own, the XD or whatever, for a little while.
Well, they made Rebels. That was a different show.
That's considered a different show?
Star Wars Rebels, yeah.
Or like a sequel or anything like that?
No, it is.
Because didn't it still have like Anakin? Oh, no. No, I know. There was a different one.
Yeah,
now that I
Rebels
think
is
about it.
between 3 and 4.
Yeah.
And Clone Wars. So Netflix bought Clone Wars and said, "We'll give you that final season that you never got
Okay.
to finish up your show."
Like they do.
Yeah. So that was big, but yeah, all the Pixar movies, plus a few Disney originals, a Lady and the Tramp remake.
Remake.
Yeah.
Like they reanimated it?
I don't know if they're doing. I think it might be live action, which is.
So if it looks like Homeward Bound or something, I'll be like, okay.
If it's
but without like
if it's either, I want you to imagine, even if it's CG or if it's real dogs, I want you to imagine that spaghetti scene.
Yeah, it'd be cuter if it's real dog. They're just like eating spaghetti.
I honestly
like
think
licking it off each other's faces. Like,
it
look at the doggies.
creepier. I think it gets creepier in my mind. If it's
and then she starts like haunching up her hindquarters. The Italian dude's just like, do it.
And then there's a show called The World According to Jeff Goldblum. So that's gonna be. I don't know.
How has that not already been a show?
I know that
sounds like some fucking Spike TV shit.
Yeah, and all the live action, Disney movies too. So you can watch Herbie Fully Loaded.
Again?
Yep. And Sister Act
2?
Yep. Back in the habit. So, and my personal favorite, My Favorite Martian. That was the start of Disney's reboots.
Yeah, that's right. I forgot they did that.
With fucking Christopher Lloyd and Jeff Daniels.
Yeesh.
Yeah. And then all the Disney Channel original movies. So there is
High School Musical too.
Yeah, and Halloween Town, bro.
Hocus Pocus them?
Yeah. Let's see. I don't think it. No, yes, it was.
All the white girls I work with keep yelling at me that I haven't seen it.
I mean, and not to sound like misogynistic, but it's the only time I find Sarah Jessica Parker attractive.
Okay.
Like that is the only movie I've ever seen where I was like, wow.
There was some commercial where I was like, oh, you're pretty.
I was like, wow. No, this is like starlet, Hollywood starlet. Like where you expect
someone of that like notoriety.
Yeah. Like that's Hocus Pocus.
Well, good work. You didn't sound misogynistic at all.
Yeah, no, I know.
Zero misogyny.
I know. You can watch Xenon, Girl of the 21st Century.
You're not helping right now.
You didn't watch that?
No.
Oh, that was terrible. But yeah, so everything. Like in that when I read that
everyone
article,
is here.
Like it when I read that, oh, and I'm sorry, the last thing, all seasons of The Simpsons.
Okay.
To top out all of that.
Sure.
All of The Simpsons. And I'm just like scrolling through this list and I'm like, they fucking own everything. Boy Meets World.
Well, that was
TGIF on ABC, which is again a subsidiary of Disney.
Well, yeah, that was all. Yeah, Boy Meets World was on the Disney Channel.
Well, yeah, eventually, and then
then like it was syndicated on other stuff.
Yeah. Oh, and then the other thing is too, when you buy Disney Plus, you can either buy it with that or you can buy it with Hulu bundled in.
Yeah,
because they also own Hulu.
Yeah.
So it's just I don't know, man.
I mean, if any company was gonna do their own one, it would be Disney. Like Disney's the only one that really makes sense.
Disney, it makes sense. It's not like the HBO or like Showtime or CBS, which is weird that I have to pay for CBS's all access.
Like the only other ones that I could really think of is like, because they have those markets down, would be like Cartoon Network or Nickelodeon. Like, here's our whole back catalog.
Yeah.
They wouldn't be able to do as much. It could only be like $5 a month or something like that.
Yeah.
And Disney Plus, I'm guessing, is like 12 or 15.
I think Cartoon Network does have one, and I think it's just free. If you have cable.
Well, yeah, but they don't have everything they've ever done.
No, I think they do.
Do they have Megas XLR?
I don't fucking know. Like, I think they've been updating the back
Who
catalog.
loves giant robots?
You
love giant robots.
I
love giant robots.
I like Zoids.
Chicks dig giant robots. We all dig giant robots, Rob.
Do you remember Zoids?
I remember Zoids.
Fucked with Zoids. So
Apparently, that's like resurging in Japan right now.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Oh, that makes me so happy. I used to build the little sets of it.
Someone got me, some family member got me one when I was a kid, and I was just like, yeah, I was like, the cool robot fight on TV. That's as far as this is going. I've never my whole life I've never had an interest in like making models or anything like that.
Did you do like Legos?
I did when I was a younger kid.
Okay.
Like I would say like up until like 6 or 7 or something, and I just like immediately just fell out of that.
You didn't do like Bionicle? Did you do that?
I got the Bionicles, but that was not near. That was like.
Was that for like I want an action figure?
Yeah, it was an action figure, and like I'm okay building it, and they were all like swappable and stuff, so you could like build your own Bionicle. Like with all the gears and shit, would make like 4-armed Bionicles that when I twisted the thing, like you would have like some going diagonal and one like stabbing and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And then you would fight the other kids and see who could knock the other guy's mask off.
So I got all the Bionicles, or no, when they first came out, because you had to get 3 of like the same kind. Like you have to have the white one, the green one, and like the blue one, and you can make this thing.
Okay, yeah.
You could fuse the 3 together, and you can make like
with
a
like
super...
with like a planned like Voltron thing.
Yeah, and then my stepbrother would get the other one. So this was really like at a problematic level of my dad's like drinking problem.
Sure.
Like, it was probably when it was at its absolute worst. And me and my stepbrother, I believe it was him or maybe it was somebody else, we went to my dad and we were like, hey, he was living across or next to a Kmart.
Okay.
It was oddly enough the apartment complex, a bar, and then Kmart.
How about that?
Yeah, it was convenient for everybody. And I went with I was like, Dad, can I have $7 to buy this Bionicle? And he was like, $7? It's fucking 2001. The economy's shit. Like, that's a lot of fucking money for Bionicles. And I was like, yeah, but it's just something. He's like, yeah, here you go. And then like me and my stepbrother, we walked to Kmart, knowing that they were just drinking at home. And then we got the one. We brought him back. We were so excited. We built it, and then I opened up the instruction booklet, and I walked to my dad.
I know
and
where
I
this
said,
is
Dad,
going.
I can't finish. I can't do this. I need the other 2. And my stepbrother specifically bought one of the 3 that wasn't, so he had another. So he was like, yeah, and I can't build this. And so like my dad,
so you're
I was just like, how much you need?
So you're out of his mind. You're out of his mind, Dad.
Yeah. We're like, I don't know, like 28. He's like 30. He's like $30 for legs. We're like, yeah, and then we can have the whole thing. He's like, fine, because it gets the goddamn kids out of my hair.
Yep.
So he just threw us like $40. So then we went to fucking Kmart.
And bought every one of the first line of Bionicles.
Yeah, it was dope.
Hey, might as well get something out of it.
Yeah,
Fuck it.
that was my mentality. I was like, whatever.
How bad do you feel now? 0? Okay.
Yeah, no, I got
as bad as I did then. Like,
it's also how I got really good at Galaga.
was there a Galaga at the bar?
Oh yeah,
Oh, yeah.
Like I fucking slay at Galaga. when we started working together, we have an arcade at work. And the first week I didn't know anybody, so I was like, I'm just kind of wandering, trying to meet new people. And I was like, I'm gonna go up to the arcade, and they had Galaga.
Yep.
And I, in my like,
we have like those. We have like the like hacked arcade machines, which just like here's like 40 games.
Yeah, and so obviously one of them was Galaga, and like 2 of the guys from my class were from my like introductory.
Yeah,
class.
your little training bit.
Yeah, were there, and they were watching me play Galaga.
Just wreck house.
There was somebody had a really high record. I was like, oh, somebody else had a very fucked up childhood.
Yeah. Or they're 60.
Yeah, or they were like
they were on like the original cabinet.
Yeah. And I got to like level like 20.
Yeah.
Which by Galaga standards is...
And that's when you're like, oh, our lunch is up.
Yeah, and it literally was just like, oh, no. And then I left, and they were like, holy crap. And I was like, I have not played that game in like 5 to 10 years. I'm really shocked at how good I'm still at. They're like, that's not even like...
because this episode's probably going up this Friday, the whatever 10th of October.
Yeah.
At least right now, as of the time we're recording this, which is that Monday, Namco Museum is like 60. It's like 2/3 off. It's $10 right now for the Switch. So I'm saying this now so that Rob knows, and it might still be up if anyone listening wants to go pick that up. I pre-bought it. I like pre-downloaded it like from my phone when I saw it on like the thing on your wish list.
Yeah.
Just went on sale.
Yeah.
And so I was like, I'm just gonna do that real quick.
Can we play Galaga?
Do you want to play Galaga next week, Rob?
We might play Galaga next week. I want to play Galaga. Throw down, do like a supercut highlight reel of like me playing Galaga. Oh, that'd be fun. Anyway, yeah. So, we got super off topic. I don't remember
what topic was there to get off. We started out and I was just like, oh, they just talked about Rick and Morty. And then
we went on a
Disney
Disney
and
rant
then they were
for,
like,
like-
oh, the Disney Plus announcement. And then like other stuff that's like coming back. Remember Zoids? I'm like, yeah, Zoids. And I didn't really build stuff. And you're like, what about Bionicle? I was like, well, I built Bionicle. And then you're like, my dad drinks. And then and now here we are. You play Galaga because your dad drank.
Oh my
Great episode. 10 out of 10.
Yeah, best review. Best review.